Good morning, Year 6. Today we're going to start our new topic of time. This is going to be revision for the majority of you. It's something that you've been learning actually since you were in Year 1, but obviously we're going to do this at a Year 6 level. Just like any of my other lessons, you need to make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pencil ready in order to do your morning arithmetic, morning reasoning, and some of the practice questions throughout the lesson before having a go at the independent work. I'm going to share my screen with you now and we're going to get started with our morning arithmetic. As always, there's going to be 6 questions for you to have a go at, so please pause the video here and answer all 6 of these questions. If you're not pausing the video and doing all 6 of these questions, you're not practicing those key arithmetic skills that we need to ensure we're developing throughout the year. Sorry, I don't know why these questions are wrong. It's 4, 5 and 6 here. Okay, I'm going to start going through the answers now, so please make sure you've gone through those 6 questions. The 2 questions which I thought some people might find a little bit trickier were question 1 and question 3, so I'll go through those in more detail. Sorry, that's meant to be a 3, I know it's not super clear. Okay, for question 1, we're doing a decimal number times by an integer, 4.7 multiplied by 34. All we need to do is 2 steps. Step 1, we're just going to multiply as normal. 47 times 34, we know how to do that. Step 2, we need to put our decimal point in. In the question, there was 1 digit after the decimal point. Therefore, in our answer, there's going to be 1 digit after the decimal point. Look down at question 3, then it's minus 4, add 10. So we're starting at minus 4. What can I add to get to 0? I will, of course, add 4. And then I'm trying to add 10 in total. If I've already added 4, I'm now going to have to add 6, taking me to 6. Your answer here was 6. OK, we're going to move on now to 6 reasoning questions. Can I please ask you to pause the video and have a go at these questions, which are mostly based on facts that you should be able to recall and retain. Please pause the video and have a go at these 6 questions. OK, I'm going to start going through the answers to these ones as well. For this one, you just needed to remember 1 litre is equal to 1,000 millilitres and then divide that by 4 to get 250. And for this question here, you just needed to remember that rhyme. 30 days have September, April, June and November. All the rest have 31 apart from February, which has 28 or 29 on a leap year. So that tells us June has 30 days. Right, we're going to get started with today's learning. And in today's learning, I'm going to go through the steps really slowly and simply, even for those of you who are feeling confident with telling the time. Those of you who already feel confident with this, you can start answering these questions as practice questions before you get to the independent work. But for those of you who aren't confident telling the time, please make sure you're listening to me break down the steps and you're following those steps in order to answer your questions. Because I'd probably say at this point, 50% of Year 6 are confident telling the time and 50% of Year 6 needs some more practice. So depending on which 50% you're in, you either need to be watching me do it or having a go by yourself. But I'd like you all to watch me do the first one. Step 1 is to identify the minute hand. Now, you can do this by remembering minute is longer than hour when you write the words out or when you say them. Therefore, the minute hand is the long hand. So I'm looking at this hand here. Step 2, when you're writing the time in words, is to determine, are you looking at a time that's past the hour or to the hour? So we know that the hour can be split in half, and we know when we're telling the time and writing it in words, if the minute hand is on the first half of the clock, we'd say past, and then when it gets to the second half of the clock, we start saying to. So you need to first, before you start doing anything else, know if you're talking about a past or a to time. I can see my minute hand is on the right hand side, therefore I'm looking at past, because that tells me which direction I need to count in. I know I'm looking at past, therefore I need to count clockwise. That's the same way round your minute hand goes. So I need to count in groups of 5 like that. And then if I need to, I'll count the ones independently like that. So let's have a look at this one. I start on 12. I do not count 12. I start on 12, from 12, 5. So my minute hand is pointing at 5 past. I'm now going to check my hour and I need to be careful. I want to know, I've already said my hour is just gone past, so I want to know which hour have I just gone past. I've just gone past 3. So I'm looking at 5 past 3. And I can see here already I've made a classic mistake that children make. When you're writing it in words, you can't write any of the numbers in numbers. I must write the whole thing in words. 5 past 3. OK, the time here is 5 past 3. Let's look at the next one then. Identify which one is the minute hand. So that's the long one. This clock looks different, but I'm still looking for the long minute hand. OK, am I talking about past or to? Which side of half past is it on? I'm looking at past, so I'll count in this direction. First, I'll count my 5s and then I'll count my 1s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I can't do another jump of 5, so now I need to go 26, 27, 28. So that means it's 28. Be careful with your spelling of these words now. 8 is a key word to know. Past. And now I need to be careful with my hour hand. I'm looking for which hour I've just gone past. Have I just gone past 1 or have I just gone past 2? I've just gone past 1, so it's 28 past 1. Okay, let's have a look at this next one. Again, the clock is different. I need to identify the long minute hand, that's this one, and I need to decide which side of half past it's on. Is it on past or 2? This time I'm looking at 2. This is our first example when we're doing a 2 time, and if it's 2, instead of counting clockwise, you're actually going to count anti-clockwise how many minutes to it is. So again, in exactly the same way, I'm going to count in 5s and 1s. 5, 10, 15, and then I need one more jump, 16 there. So that's 16, 2, and now this is the bit that children sometimes find quite tricky. When you're looking for the hour here, I'm not looking for which hour I've just gone past, it's which hour I'm nearly at, because it's a 2 time, which time have I nearly got to? It's not 16 to 12, I've gone past 12, I'm now nearly at 1. 16 to 1. Okay, let's look at the next one. In fact, I'd like you to do this one as an independent question. So this will be question number 1 on your piece of paper as a practice question. Pause the video and follow all 4 of my steps in order to get this time exactly right. Right, I'm going to start going through it now. Please make sure that you've followed my steps in order to have a go at this one by yourself. Remember, those of you who are feeling really confident, you can have a go at doing all of these questions independently, but everyone else, just make sure you're staying with me, following my instructions. Step 1. Identify the minute hand. That's this one here, this longer one here. Step 2, are we looking at past or 2? It's on the side of 2. So that means I need to count anti-clockwise. How many minutes to? 5, 10. Okay, so that tells me I'm looking at 10 to. Well done if you got this far. Now, I bet some of you made a mistake here with your hour hand. It's 10 to what? I'm looking time I'm nearly at, not the time I've gone past because it's a 2 time. I'm looking for 10 minutes until which hour? The next hour. That means I want to know which hour have I not yet reached. That means it's 10 to 7. Really well done if you got question 1 correct, 10 to 7. You're going to have a go at this second independent practice question now. It's exactly the same, except this time that numbers on your clock have been written in Roman numerals. But you're all confident with your Roman numerals, and even if you weren't confident, you could just count it. Pause the video and have a go at finding this time. Okay, so if you're feeling confident with this, excellent. If you're not feeling confident, you need to go back and rewatch all of the questions I've done so far to build up that confidence so that you're ready for the independent work. So identify which hand is the minute hand. That's this long one here. Is it on past or 2? It's past. I haven't yet gone past the 6 or half past. So I need to count clockwise. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17 past. Now for the hour, because it's past, I want to know which hour I've just gone past. That means it's 17 minutes past 6. It's not 17 minutes past 7 because I'm not looking at 2, I'm looking at past on this side. Right, what you're going to do now is you're going to have a go at these there's 6 independent questions. You can either do this from your task sheet or from the video that you can see here, and you can see the questions here, sorry. So I need you to find the time and write it in words for all 6 of the following questions. The first 3 are here, so pause the video and write down the time in words. Remember, you can't write any of your numbers in numbers, it's all got to be written in words. What are the following times? So these are the first 3, and now I'm going to show you the second 3. Here's the second group of questions. Please pause the video and have a go at these 3 questions. Remember, you can do this from the task sheet as well if you prefer, but they're all in the video, so you don't really need to. Right, we're going to move on now to digital time, okay? Now with digital time, there's a slightly different set of rules because with digital time, we're never talking about 2. We always talk about how many minutes past the hour it is. So with digital time, you're always looking at which hour you've gone past. And the other challenge with digital time is sometimes you'll be asked, now that you're in year 6, to present your time in the 24-hour clock. All that you need to remember with that is that there's 24 hours in the day. In the first 12 hours of the day, that's the morning, that's AM. So the times would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. When it reaches 12, though, that's not the end of the day, it's just the afternoon. So the second 12 hours of the day is when you're going back through those hours. That's the PM, post meridian, after the afternoon. In the PM times, we count from 12, it would be 13, 14, 15. So the easy way to remember that is I've got a little trick down here. Have a look here and this will help you. If you're doing the 24-hour clock, PM, that means please add 12. AM, don't add 12. Okay, I know that's very silly, but it should hopefully help you remember when you need to add 12. The only exception with that is at 12 o'clock, and we'll talk about that in example later. But for now, we're just going to have a go at these questions. So the steps are similar, but you're always looking for which hour has been passed, not which hour you're nearly at. And you always count in a clockwise direction. Okay, so when we're telling the time in a digital manner, we never count backwards, always forwards. So identify the minute hand, that's this long one here. Count in fives and then ones. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Sorry, I know I've made a mistake because I know 6 is 30. I accidentally counted 12, which is something I told you to make sure you're not doing. You don't count the 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. My minute hand is exactly 7, that's 35. You don't have to do that by counting in fives. If it's exactly on the number, you can just do 7 times 5 is 35, or you could have started from 30, 35. There's loads of different ways to do it. I'm just showing you the most basic way. Okay, so I've counted my minutes. Now I need to know which hour I've gone past. Remember, with digital time, you're never looking at which hour you're nearly at. You're always looking at which hour you have gone past. So here I can see I've gone past 5 o'clock earlier. I'm now, in words, 25 to 6, but in digital time, that is 5:35. Now, in the 12-hour clock today, I'd like you, please, to write 5:35 like that, and then you put whether it's PM or AM afterwards. PM like that. Okay, so now I need to determine what that time would be in the 24-hour clock. PM, that means please add 12. We're looking at the second set of 12 hours. 5 add 12 is 17. That's 17:35. You do not write AM or PM for 24-hour clock time. You don't need to, because the fact is I've added the 12. That shows us it's in the PM. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. Find the long minute hand, count in fives and then in ones. For this one, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to start at 6, which I know is 30, and then that's 35. So again, my minutes are at 35. Now I need to check the hour. Which hour hand have I gone past? I've gone past 10. So that's 10:35 AM. So I'm going to write AM here. Okay, if in the 24-hour clock, please add 12. If it's AM, don't add 12. Okay, I'm not going to add 12 then. It's just 10:35. Simple. Some children, whenever they see 24-hour clock, think, oh, I know, I just need to add 12. You only add 12 if you're talking about the afternoon times. In the morning, it's the first 12 hours of the day, so we're not adding anything to it. Okay, next question then. We're going to look at this one slightly different here, although not that much different. Identify the minute hand. That's the long one here. Okay, count in fives and then ones. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And then from 35, I'd say one more minute is 36. Remember, you've just gone past 10, so that's 10:36 AM. Then additionally, I know it's AM. I shouldn't add 12, just 10:36. Okay, let's look at this next time. You can see the PM is written at the top. If you want to, at this point, you can start doing this as an independent practice question. Otherwise, you can see a few more examples with me. Identify the minute hand, this one here. Count in fives and then ones. 5, 10. I can't do another 5, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13. My minutes are 13 minutes. Now, which hour have I just gone past? I've gone past 7. That's 7:13. Now I check if it's AM or PM. That's a PM time. Do you add 12 or not? Yep. PM means please add 12. 7 add 12 will be equal to 19, and then we put 13 on. Okay, I'd like you to do this as question 3 of your independent one. You need to find the time in both the 12-hour clock and the 24-hour clock. Just write it down on your piece of paper what you think the time is in the 12 and the 24-hour clock. Please pause the video and have a go at this question now. Okay, so let's go through it. Find the minute hand, that's the long one there, counting fives and then ones. I'm going to cheat again. I'm going to start at 6, which I know is 30, 35, 40. Now I'm going to count in ones, 41, 42. My minutes is 42. Now identify which hour you have passed. It would be a mistake here to say 11. I've not gone past 11. I've gone past 10. Therefore, the time is 10:42 a.m. And because that's an AM time, that means, don't add 12. Therefore, the time is 10:42 in the 24-hour clock. Okay, can you please have a go at this question? This question will be question 4 of your independent work. Please pause the video now and have a go at this practice question. This is a PM time. Off you go. All right, I'm going to go through it with you. Make sure you've had a go at this question by yourself. It's super important you're practicing whilst I can still go through the questions with you and you can identify your mistake. Find your minute hand, this long one here. Count in fives and ones. Again, I'm going to count from 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. Always start with your minutes. Okay, now which hour have you gone past? You're not looking for 10 o'clock. We haven't reached 10 o'clock yet. We've gone past 9. That's 9:38 p.m. That's a PM time. Please add 12. 9 add 12 is 21. 24-hour clock is 21:38. Okay, have another go at this one then. This is question 5 of your practice questions. Pause the video and have a go. This is the question where I said you need to be really careful because this is the 12th hour. Have a go, see what you think for this question, but then I'll go through it afterwards for those of you who weren't sure. Okay, so 12-hour clock should have been fairly straightforward. Identify the minute hand, that's this one. Count in fives, that's 15. What hour have I just gone past? That's 12:15 p.m. Okay, I've put this one in red because 12 is the only hour that's different. Okay, we need to make sure we're clear on what 12 is in the 24-hour clock. When the day begins, that we'd call that 12 o'clock, the start of the day at midnight when the new day begins, that is 12 a.m. And in the 24-hour clock, that is hour 0. At midnight on the 24-hour clock, the time is 0 hours and 0 minutes. You've just started the new day. That means by the time we get up to 12 p.m., that's 12 o'clock at midday or in the afternoon, that is actually hour number 12. There is no hour 24 in the 24-hour clock, which I know sounds confusing because it's the 24-hour clock. Why would we not have hour 24? But of course, once you've reached the 24th hour, that's immediately when you start your new day. So the only exception to adding 12 when you are looking at the 24-hour clock is when it's 12. 12 p.m. we'd write as 12. So this time is actually 12:15. If you said 24:15, just have a little think about that. Are you in the 24th hour of the day? Not quite. Okay, so that one was very tricky. Don't worry if you found it trickier. Right, what you're going to do now on your piece of paper or on the task sheet, if you would prefer, is you're going to go through the next 6 times and write the time both in the 12-hour clock and the 24-hour clock. Can I ask you, when you're doing the time in the 12-hour clock, though, can you make sure you are writing the time like this? I'm going to do the wrong time, but to show you the layout, let's say it's 2:43 a.m. So make sure you're writing AM or PM. Okay, so you've got 3 questions here and there'll be another 3 questions on the next page. Please pause the video and answer these 3 questions. Okay, and now you're going to pause the video and have a go at these 3 questions, including 2 using the Roman numeral clocks. Have a go at those 3 questions. Right, I'm going to go through the answers now. You need to have tried all of these questions independently by yourself, and you also need to make sure you're marking your work responsibly and carefully. For those of you who are really confident with this won't take you long to do this work, and you'll probably be thinking, Miss Graham, why are you making me practice something I already know? But for many of you, this is actually quite tricky, so it's worth revising. So I've written the times up for you here. Please remember, if you've written that, for example, 25 to 10 like this, 25 to 10, you've not written it in words like you were asked. All of the numbers must be written in words. Okay, so you've got all of your times for those ones. Please mark your work, and I'm going to go through the next set of questions now. So you're going to mark these ones here, and again, you've got that trickier one down here where it's 12:27 p.m. We know, although normally we'd have 12, when it's 12 o'clock, we can't add 12 to it, just stays as 12:27. Well done to everyone who's been completing their work carefully and honestly. Well done to everyone who's marked all of their work independently. Please don't forget to upload it onto Seesaw, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another maths lesson.